Rich is someone who's done over 40k of payouts this year, and I actually love his journey so far because this is someone that I've watched grow and he's consistent. And one of the best things about him, and there's a lot to learn, is his consistency and his slow compounded approach. Now, when it comes to trading and funded trading, we always see these withdrawals of 40,000, 100,000, and as motivating as that is, everyone has their steps to get there first. And I feel like Rich is a really good example for you guys to learn and earn from because he's consistently with these 25Ks, 10Ks, 50K accounts, funded challenges accounts, which we actually give away for you guys for free. So we've been doing tons of giveaways and you can get $500, $1,000, a couple of $1,000, and these compound over a period of time. So this is a really good interview, a lot of bouncing back between me and Rich. So I hope you guys enjoyed this interview for you guys. Remember to like, share and subscribe, and let's get forward with the interview. What's happening, Rich? Welcome to the My Funded FX interview. So if you want to just literally let the people know a little bit about you and how you're doing, bro.
I'm doing good, man. Nice to meet you. So my name is Quan. I go by Rich. But I am 24 years old. I stay in the US and I've been trading now for about 8 years. And yeah.
Damn. Well, 8 years. That means you started when you were like, what, 15?
Yeah, 15. I was young.
How can you even open an account, bro?
So I demoed for like a year, and then I heard about joint accounts. So then I just kind of used somebody older than me to help me open an account.
You can do joint, but this is beyond me. You can do joint accounts. I'm learning something new every day. You can do joint accounts, but you can trade it as a 15-year-old. Does that is it in your name?
So it's technically, I guess technically in their name, in the adult's name. But yeah, you can definitely trade under 18, but it has to be a joint account. So it's like you guys share the account in a way. It's almost like a shared bank account, but you're trading on it.
I guess that makes sense because then the person, I'm assuming the other joint person is over 18 or over 21, and then they're going to be liable for if you lose all the money, right?
Exactly.
Sweet. So then I guess going on to that, you started when you were 15. Like, what was the joke? That's mad. Like, honestly, man, props to you. I just think that's sick. Like, I love meeting people who start young because I wish I had that, but I think it's so inspiring because you see them on YouTube and you see them and stuff, but I get to actually talk to you and meet you. It's like, wow, this guy was 15, had his head on. When I was 15, I was probably eating sand. so what happened from like 15 to like now, like in terms of like if you had a little bit explain about your story, how did you get into trading? How did it go?
Honestly, I would say that the first 6 years or 5 years, because I started young, but I had the idea that I was just gonna, I thought I was gonna make $1 million by the time I was 18, starting with a few $100s. And my first account I saved up, on my first real account. So like I had small accounts when I was like 15, I put 100, 200. I saved up maybe 2 or 3,000 after graduation. And I blew that account in like 2 days. Like that, I know the feeling of that.
Way too bad. What was that? So that was like 15 to 18, you were saving it, and then you were demoing betweening, and then you saved up that 3K?
Well, 15 to 18, I was demo in very small $100, $200 accounts. And once I got 18, that's when I got my first real experience.
Yeah. So, and then what happened after that from that 3K?
After 18, I kind of laughed, and then I was like, there's no way that this just happened. And then
you lost the account?
Yeah, that account was gone. That was smoked. And I just told myself, like I said, I wasn't gonna quit. Like I just lost more money than I've ever had in my life. And I just was like, if I can lose it that fast, I can make it, I can also make it that fast. So I was just like, I'm not gonna quit, whatever it takes. This is not it. Like, I'm not going out like that.
I love that. And then what was like the turning point? Because I think your mental fortitude there, which I'll touch on in a little bit later, but like, what was your
turning point then? If you'd like, obviously you did that, you demoed. I'm assuming the demo period was you like just figuring things out. Like, what did you do? Did you go on like Trading View, Baby Pips? Like, what was that like?
I actually, during that time, which is crazy, I bootlegged the guy's. He was a trading mentor. He's still relevant. Timothy Sykes. He teaches people
Oh
how to
yeah,
trade
yeah.
in the stock market,
Yeah.
and
Good
I
reputation.
would. Well, that's actually how I came up with the money to open up little small trading accounts. I would try to sell people his course back in um, crazy story. He said that he was gonna send his lawyers after me. I was like 16 years old, so I was terrified. But from there, I would say from 15 to 18, it was I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just kind of taking random hunches and what I thought on the market. I didn't have a system. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't even say that I've had a system up until my 6th year trading. I had a real system, sixth or seventh
Nice.
year trading, somewhere around there.
And then from there, what happened on after you had your system?
So once I had my system, I went through, I guess, kind of like growing pains where um, I would have my system and my system would be performing well. So like one day it might go up 2, 3, 4 R, but I completely went off the handles, didn't trade my system, and I'm sitting here
Yo,
-5 or something
yeah.
like that. So it was, I mean, and I'm still kind of on that journey where I'm trying to follow it to a T,
Mhm.
and but that was I guess a turning point where just slowly getting better at just following my system and not listening to my head or anybody else on what they think the market's going to do.
Yeah, yeah. And like, if I may, and like, look, I'm not coming from like any point of view. This is just my own
Mm,
experience in it. But the thing is, at the end of the day, from what I've learned so far, I don't believe that you will never not make mistakes. And same thing with like following your system. I just think that
mm,
as you get older, you realize these mistakes a lot quicker. You
mm,
cut them a lot quicker, and you're able to understand the long-term pain. Because when
yeah.
I think everyone, which I also want to go back onto and bring this into like a whole story, is like
Mm,
one thing I find in common with either my successful friends or even traders I interview, or even just myself, right, is you had a never give up mentality. That's simply,
mm,
literally it, bro.
yeah.
Like if you failure is a part of success, it's not the opposite. That's always my message. And
Hmm.
true failure is when you give up. Because if you give up, you never know what would happen. Like if you
Yeah,
give up,
exactly.
you literally would just don't know because you would have given up. Like that's it. You don't know the story. But if you never give up, sooner or later, it might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, it might not be next year. God
Hmm.
knows, right? When it could be. But that breakthrough, when it happens, you just need one breakthrough. It's like a sales call. You just need one yes, and you
Hmm.
get the job. That's it. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I just find it interesting that you were blessed with that mental fortitude at a very early stage. Now, don't like for the viewers, don't get it twisted. Even though he was blessed for that mental fortitude, the journey is still very, very difficult. As probably everyone who's watching knows to or is in that journey is, it's just you have to persevere. Like literally, I
Yeah.
think that is the common thing that I can always say is, yet again, no disrespect to you, and I'm not anything special. Me and you are no,
Mhm.
alien or anything. We just didn't give up. I'm an
Yeah,
average blow.
exactly. Exactly. No, you're 100% right. And like I tell people, like it took me 8 years, but it did not. Honestly, I think I had enough knowledge to like I have the same amount of knowledge now that I probably had at like year 3 or year 4. So
Absolutely.
it does definitely doesn't have to take 8 years. I've just been very hard headed with the lessons. And as you like you said, as you get older, you kind of like 15, like I was trading at such a young age, like I didn't understand the lessons. I just saw that I was losing money and I needed to make it back.
Mm,
And then now,
mm.
like I can actually take the lessons, grow from it, learn from it, and
And the
so I think
maturity
that has
too,
to
right?
do with it. You said what?
The maturity, right? Like your
Yeah,
maturity,
yeah,
like because
exactly.
when you're 18, you're full of testosterone, you're full of ego. There's certain things that when you're told at 18, you can just not accept, but when you're 25 or 30, it's just a
Yeah.
lot of a different way. As you get older, things change, your perceptions change, life
Hmm.
changes, even your taste change, right? Like
Yeah.
I remember thinking coffee when you've ever first had coffee, like it's so bitter. But now you drink, I can't live without coffee. So it's the same thing as you develop and as you grow. And then another thing is, which I think if we pick on your stories, like you said, a system, ultimately
Yeah.
that is the, in my opinion, and this is, I've made a few videos on this, and I think that's the most important thing. You have to have a system, because
Yeah.
Think and Grow Rich, the power of that is the 13 principles, right? The main three is you have a desire, but with a desire, you have to have organized plan. And that organized plan in our world is a trading strategy or a trading system. And then you have to take consistent daily action to make that desire become a reality. So our desire is to be rich in trading, whatever the number is, 1,000, 2,000, 100, whatever, that's subjective. Then we have a strategy, which is our organized plan, and we take consistent action. Really, that is the simple formula, but it's so hard to do.
That's what, yeah. Oh, yeah, it is. It's very hard to do. It's the hardest thing that I've come across. Just like this year, I've made more than I made last year. Like, I think I'm at almost double what I did last year, and it's
Mind me asking, like 5, 6, 7 figures, where are you at roughly?
No, I'm at like
wherever you're willing to share.
So last year I think after paying all the accounts, paying for all the challenge accounts or whatever, I think last year I ended the year at like 25. This year
Wow.
so far I'm at about 45.
Wow.
So I'm trying to get to 6 figures by the end of the year, but it's just very frustrating with, like we just said, trying to follow it to a T every single day. I think if I followed my system to a T every single day, I would have been probably at 6 figures this year back in March.
But if I may as well, like from my own journey, the thing is 6 figures is around the corner for me, if you think about it. You first like let me like say it's a moment of proudness, right? Bro, you did 25, congrats, like you're profitable. You know what I mean? You feel good. And this is why I said I like your story and I like what you're presenting, because small profits are important. I said to this, to Rich before the start, like if you can understand the power of compounding, which is like the most influential book that's been in my life and changed my whole thinking, like a penny double day, like doubled every day, or like you said earlier, just $10 a day or something. The whole point is the small will add up, and if you can't do small, you can't do big. More capital is not going to help you.
Definitely.
And let me clarify something for you, Rich, I guess, just as a brother. Like I'm not trying to come from a position or whatever, like we all got our own experiences and journeys, and you know what I mean, but I'm just saying 6 figures is not far from you. And like the thing I always tell myself is I wish I enjoyed the journey more. That was it, because I was so hungry. I wanted like 6 figures. I wanted 200k, 300k. I wanted 1 million. I wanted all of that. But then you get it. So what? Life is still the same. You still get back to work.
Yeah.
You still trade,
true.
right? Even if you did 6 figures, you do this interview with me right now. Nothing really changes. You just say, I'm 6 figures. You're still the same dude. You're still the same family. Still the same situation. So it doesn't really matter. But if you enjoy it, it will make life fun. But you've got it, bro. Like if you're at 45 already, you're already gonna hit. Like if you're consistent and you're on point, by the end of the year, there's a no-brainer for you to hit that, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh man, I'm gassed to have you back on as a 6-figure trader, and then we can go through your strategies and things like that. So let's go on to like the fun stuff, which I think is quite cool. Is like when you got your first withdrawal, what did you do with that? And how much was it?
So I think my first withdrawal was like my first withdrawal was actually very big.
Really?
This was last year. I had been blowing, like what I would do is I would get an account, do good on it, grow the account, and then I would lose. Like I would say, okay, I'm done trading on this account. I'm gonna lock in the payout. And then I would trade on the account still and lose the payout. And that happened to me probably like 5 or 6 times. And then this last one, I think I grew a 50K account by like, it was like 20,000. And like, I think that was
That's a lot.
Yeah, it was. I think it was 1 or 2 weeks because I was like going all in. This was back when like COVID happened and the market was just like falling out of the air.
It was clean then as well, to be honest, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very clean, and the moves went a lot further than you would even expect. So I was putting like big lots on it. Like I was pretty much risking my daily max loss every single day. And I was out there. So
All said.
that one was I think that one was 15K, but when I got that, almost all of it went to paying off like credit cards and stuff like that because I had racked up so much, like bought so many challenges and not locked in. No, like I didn't lock in any payouts.
Must have felt good
Which is
though.
yeah. Oh, it did. It did. It did. It felt really good. Having a big payout after all of that headache. And that actually put me positive on the year. And then after that is when I developed my system, and it wasn't as volatile of a P&L curve after that. I kind of I eventually blew that account, that 50K account, and then from there I was like, okay, I got the funds. Like I was able to pretty much get a reset on my funded account journey. So I was like, let me take this opportunity and come at it with a different approach. And that's what I did. So it did feel good being able to pay a lot of those cars off.
So I hope you guys are enjoying the interview so far. I do want to mention, don't forget to check out our Instagram and our Twitter page where we are constantly announcing giveaways for you guys because MFFX are here to support you. We've been doing $1 million worth of challenges given away on our first month, and we're going to increase this more and more and more as our YouTube channel grows for you guys to give back to you guys, because you're watching this, you're getting inspired, you want to trade, so we are going to give you the opportunity. Prove to us. A lot of you guys say, I just need a challenge, so fine. We hear you out. We're willing to give you the challenge for you to prove your skill. So don't forget to check out in our socials, link in the description if you're ready to start your challenge.
Damn, boy. Javi, congrats. It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling because I feel like the first one hits different. Like,
it does.
It's like oh, finally my time is here. Like after failing and failing and failing, and you're like, oh, finally. I can see it in you, man, after paying those cards. So then, actually, what year was that when you had your first payout? Was that 3 years ago?
That was my first payout ever after like 6 years. I think that was 2020. It wasn't 2022. It was 2021. That's what it was. It was like March or April 2021. Yeah.
I'm getting mixed up with my years. Yeah, like you just said, like I was like, wait, COVID's like pandemic was like 2020 or 2019. I can't remember. And it's 2023. We're halfway through the year already, bro. It's crazy. Yeah. June already.
It's flying, man.
But so then I'd say, if you like, what's the goal next then? Like for funding for more capital, like how much are you totally funded at the moment? Do you rotate them as well out of interest?
So I think my total funds is floating around like 400K right now.
Nice.
So my goal now is just to build up my funding because like I have a system that works. I don't need to go in big anymore, like in order to make money. Like I just need like consistent returns. If I can make 1% if I make 1% on the 400K, that's 4,000 a week. But if I max out 2 or 3 prop firms, 1% can be, a month worth of gains right now. And it's
insane, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy. Prop firms are definitely a blessing. Yeah, I wish I did have them early on.
Same. It's so funny. It's funny. We both said the same thing of the word blessing, because when I started as well, it was only like you, a couple of $100, but a couple of £100 over here in the UK, kept blowing it. And there were prop firms available, but you can only have 1 to 3 leverage, which you couldn't even open a trade. Yeah, I know. And you couldn't even get much money. So even if you probably make $100 a month, which on a 50K account, which is really insignificant if you think about it. It's not going to change your life. I appreciate $100, but it's not going to be enough to change my life. But then,
exactly.
But the power of what you said there, and I think is so important. Trading funded challenges is so different to trading live and trading a personal account, which is 3 separate things. A live account, you can just do 1%. And that's it. That's Gucci. Yeah. It's the power. Like, 1%, like you said, on a 400, even if you don't do that in a week, you do that in a month. You're good. That's 4K a month. Do you know what I mean? It's 48K in a year.
Yeah. I'm still a full-time college student, and that's what my salary is supposed to look like once I graduate.
That's sick. Yeah. And then think about it. In the room, how many people are earning what you're earning sitting there? And then That's just one thing. Okay, cool. That's 48K. But the difference with the beauty of trading, which is why everyone gets into it, is there is no ceiling.
Yeah, there's none.
Double up, 80K. You've still 800K account, then 1.6 million, then 3.5 million. And it's all the same thing, percentage wise, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
So how's, like, I guess tips wise, what would your, if you had to go back, I love this question. If you had to say you're 15, you're right.
Yeah, I was sitting on my foot.
Are you getting a dead leg?
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, if you had one tip to give yourself when you were, let's do two, because I think for you it's quite interesting. Your number one tip when you were 15, like if you had to tell yourself one thing, what is that? And I'll ask you the next question in a minute.
If I was
Just
15,
started.
if I had just started, like because I still talk to people that just started in
Right.
trading from time to time, and my number one advice is like, I don't care what system it is. I don't even necessarily care if it works. Like, you can find a system that works. The number one skill that you need to develop as a trader is being able to follow a system. Now I know it might sound crazy to say I don't care if the system works, but I would, if I was 15, I would rather go back and be following the system that doesn't work and eventually either creating or finding a system that does work than just randomly gambling
It's
on.
powerful.
Yeah, so that's my number one rule is finding a system. It can be any system really. And train yourself to be able to follow it no matter what.
I'm kind of with you on that though, because when you say like it doesn't matter, I can't. This is what I say. Like, to be honest, most strategies work. You know, a lot of people saying this is a scam, that is a scam. Well, really and truly, it's actually on you. You bought the course, but did you study it? Did you refine it? Did you make it work for you? You know, we're all the same but different. We're the same because we need food, water, air in our lungs, but different cultures. We're from different environments, different parents. You know, different areas of walks in life and different experiences. So we see things differently. But what you said is, and I kind of get where you're coming from, because you create the system, it doesn't work, it doesn't matter. But if you keep refining and refining and refining and getting the data and analyzing it and know where the tilt is and what's going wrong, that system will sooner or later change. Even if it doesn't, you've refined all the wrong things anyway. So then when a new system does come along, it's going to be profitable because you've already eliminated a lot of the toxic traits or any tilt days or any tilt issues, isn't there? Yeah, I love that. And then if you were to give yourself a tip, and the reason I asked this because I think when you're 15, that is not everyone is 15, and there's no one has the opportunity to start. So I feel like maybe on the side of, if you had to give a tip to the 18 you where you blew that through, because that must have been a tough pill to swallow, because I know how that felt for me.
That was terrible.
When I lost, so my worst one was, I think I did, I had a 3K account and I made my biggest profit at 1.5K. I kept running it and running it and running it. And then and eventually, long story short, it pulled all the way back down. And then I took a 1.5K loss. So it took a 50% off the balance. Plus I lost the profit. Plus it was like 5 days worth of work. And that ruined me. But it was a good thing, because, you know, the worst things are the best things, because the amount of lessons I learned from that loss was so powerful. But that changed me. But what would you say to yourself when you blew that 3K? Like, you know, you've just blown it. You're really, really down. What would you say to yourself?
I would probably, because I think I still repeated that cycle for years to come, where I was just trying to make money. I think I would.
Was it quick money, or like you were just trying to make money?
I mean, I was trying to make quick money. I don't think like I said, I didn't really have a system. I was trying to predict the market. And I mean, with no system, that's very difficult. But I think if I could go back, I would just tell myself that if I don't change, then it would just keep. I mean, it would just keep happening unless I changed how I was approaching trading. It would just keep happening over and over and over again, which it did for me. But if I could go back and change that course, that's what I would, tell myself then.
It's a hard pill to swallow, doing it. Like, it's one of those things. It's so hard, but that is literally a really, really solid piece of advice. How have you been? So obviously you're funded with my funded FX at the moment. I think was it 25 and 100K?
Yeah.
Yeah, wicked. How has it been so far, and what's your experience been with my funded FX so far?
It's been great. It's the challenges are cool because you don't have the time limit, and even though, I mean, the time limit hasn't necessarily been something that I've hit a lot, but it just mentally knowing that I don't have a time
Yeah,
frame,
yeah,
like
yeah.
it frees up a lot of the stress of taking on a challenge. And I also like how if I pass phase one, you know, I get phase two immediately. If I pass phase two, I get the live account immediately. So the quick turnover is really what I like. And yeah, my experience has been good so far. Seems like they're coming out with something new and something better it seems like every single
Yeah.
month
It's
or week.
crazy, the development. Yeah, they've got
Yeah.
so much oncoming. There's some things I can tell you off screen as well, which is really, really cool. But I do agree. I think the just to go on the trading days, I think it's stupid because, as you probably know, there are other challenges where you have to open 0.01.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like, I've
That's
already
what I do.
passed.
Yeah.
I've already passed. Like, what's the point? It's just wasting your time and my time. And
Uh-huh.
then the minimum trading days on the last 3 days, I've been on it. I've gone on tilt because it's like, well, I'm either going to lose the account, I have
Yeah.
to retry. And to be
Exactly.
honest, that is not healthy for my my mental like trading game.
Yeah.
I should never ever go on tilt no matter what because it's gambling essentially.
Yeah.
Essentially, so I think they are really changing the game, and that's why when I make my videos on my funded FX, I say it's from traders to traders because they hear us out and they really, 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 really work on it. So that's pretty
Yeah.
sick, man. That's pretty sick that you're doing well, you're doing your bits, and do you know what I think is going to be amazing? We've got this interview. It's going to be a pinnacle of you. We'll do another one, and then in a few years' time, you're going to look back and think, "Wow, look how much I've leveled
Definitely.
up." I love that, man. I love that.
Definitely.
What's one last little piece of like advice or tips to like traders who are watching that you would like to share to them?
So I'm gonna technically say two, but I'll be short with the first
Yeah,
one.
no. Take your time. Add some value.
The first one is that treat trading like a numbers game, because at the end of the day, that's what it is. You need to develop a system that has just a positive expectancy and learn how to follow that. At the end of the day, that's all profitable trading is. And number two is, like, especially if you're trading, which I guess if you're watching this, you're trading funded accounts. Lock in a payout. Like, I mean, if I pay, like, I'm a numbers guy, so I really like numbers. So locking in a payout is the number one tip that I would give any prop firm trader, because if you pay 200, let's just say $250 for, let's just say, a 50K account, you grow that account by, let's just say I hit my monthly goal of 4%. That's $2,000. After the split, you get about 1,500, but you also get that refund back, so you get like 1,750. So you turn a $250 investment into $1,750. But a lot of people trying to take that, like what I was doing, trying to take that 50K and grow it by 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000. You can grow it by, honestly, 2% is still a great investment, turning $250 into about 1,000. And I think a lot of people need to start looking at it from, I guess, the ROI perspective. But locking in the payouts is by far the number one tip for any prop firm trader. So
I think that's so powerful, man, because it becomes there's a very business minded, and I think a lot of traders sometimes do lack the business mindset of it, because ultimately, like you said, return of investment. If you tell me another business where you can put $200 to make 2K, right?
Exactly.
Where it's not a scam, where it's not a hocus pocus, and it's not a gamble. This is based on your skill. Like, everything is on you. Like, you know what I mean? You're the person trading. You're the person making the rules. Yes, the market may hit you out by stop loss, but that's the market. It is what it is. You've got to play the game. It's part of it. But that is literally on you. And then one more onto that, and why prop firms are such a blessing, which is why we say it, is once that refund's done, the money's yours. Like, that's it. It's risk free.
Yeah.
It's completely on you, and it's honestly a great time to be in trading, and I think that's why my funded FX are growing so quick at the moment, because of these innovations, no funded trading rules. Like, they're just getting rid of silly rules for silly things, and traders are respecting it, and which is why they're blowing up. What was the second tip you said you wanted to give people?
Oh no, that so the first one was treat trading like a numbers game, and then the second one was lock in the payout.
Yeah, that's sick. So if people want to find you, where can they find you at, man, Rich?
you guys can follow me on Twitter, either at Bull Bear, or you can just look up Rich QFX on Twitter. I'm not on YouTube yet, but I will be on there eventually.
You got to get on YouTube. We're going to kick you out the bum to get you on YouTube. His link will be in the description below. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and notification bell button as well. And plus, we are doing plenty of giveaways because we're trying to blow this YouTube channel up. So let's go. Peace.
So I hope you guys enjoyed the interview. Thank you so much, Rich, on our episode 3 of our payout and interviews with our traders here, our funded traders here at MFFX. Hope you guys are enjoying these series. We've got more lined up. We've got one who was basically taught by a scammer, quote unquote, you know, that he calls him a scammer. It depends on what you guys think. He's coming on the next interview, and he's over 5 million funded. We've also got another trader as well who's over 2 million funded, and then we do have more interviews coming up. I've even organized an interview with Matt, the CEO of MyFundedFX, to ask him some transparent questions and to get to know him a little bit as well. So tons of content coming through. Remember to like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to link in the description if you want to start your challenge. And then I look forward to seeing you guys on this interview as well. Peace.